Hey guys, me and the team at OptimizedReach.com created a video to help you understand how to use keyword match types so you can run a high-performing and cost-effective Google ad campaign. Your keywords and match type settings will determine when your ad will be displayed. When you select the keywords that will trigger your Google ad to display, you now have three choices: broad match, phrase match, and exact match. If you choose the wrong match types, your ad will end up being displayed at the wrong times to the wrong people, which means you're just throwing money away. Bottom line, the wrong match types can cost you a lot of money. So like we said, there's three kinds of keyword match types: broad match, phrase match, and exact match. With broad match, as long as the search query is contextually similar to the keyword you are targeting, this could trigger your ad to show. Your ads may show on searches that include misspellings, synonyms, related searches, and other relevant variations. Google has a lot of control. It's really up to them to decide if it's close enough for them to show your ad. You're giving them that option. But there's a lot of gray area. There's a lot of searches someone can do that Google might deem it close enough to run your ad that doesn't really work for you because the person is in the wrong part of the buyer's journey. So you might not want your ad to be shown to that particular person. So as another example, if you had selected carpet cleaning as your broad match keyword, your ad would trigger if somebody did a search just for carpet cleaning. That'd be great. It would also trigger if someone did a search for upholstery cleaning because it's related. But maybe your company doesn't do upholstery cleaning, and so that isn't something that you want. Your ad also would show if somebody did a search for Stanley Steamer. Stanley Steamer is a well-known carpet cleaning company, so it's related. But maybe Stanley Steamer has a better offer than you have. Maybe your ad showing when Stanley Steamer's ad shows isn't something that you're looking for. But Google says that's related, so your ad would show. So there's a lot of times with broad match, your ad might run that you don't want it to run. That's why we recommend that you have a campaign that uses a combination of the other two options, phrase match and exact match. So let's look at phrase match. With phrase match, your ad may show on searches that include the meaning of your keyword, and there can be words before or after. There can also be function words like to and for in between your search term, and your ad will still show. So in this example, if you had selected lawn mowing service as a phrase match, your ad would show if somebody did a search for lawn mowing service near me, and you can see lawn, mowing, and service are in your phrase match and in the search term, but there can be words after and your ad would still show. Somebody might do a search for hire company to mow lawn, and your ad would qualify to show because you can see lawn, that word is in both of the searches, mowing and mow, Google says that's related, that's close enough, and service and company. And there can be words before and after added as well. So this has enough of the words that is in your phrase match for your ad to show. And then finally, landscaping service to cut grass. So you've got service, and you've got cut grass and lawn mowing. And Google, again, is going to decide this is close enough. And it is close enough. Lawn mowing and cutting grass, landscaping, cutting grass, that combination is close enough. And in this case, all of the three words that you had in your phrase match, lawn mowing service, apply to each of these situations. So your ad would show. This is going to give you more control than broad match. Let's look at another example of phrase match when using tennis shoes as the phrase match keyword. So as phrase match, when we use tennis shoes would show, obviously, it's the same perfect match, but also because there can be words before, you would see the ad triggered for discount tennis shoes, tennis shoe instead of shoes, singular, men's tennis shoes, women's tennis shoes, men's tennis shoes, this word changing. Tennis shoes is there, so there's a lot of times your ad will show because you only selected in your phrase match those two words, tennis shoes. If you wanted to have more control, instead of just having tennis shoes as your phrase match, you can have some of these other ones, like men's tennis shoes. Let's say you didn't sell women's tennis shoes. If you just had men's tennis shoes, and we'll go over this later, but you could always have women's as a negative keyword so your ad wouldn't show, and we'll go over negative keywords later. But by adding more terms to your phrase match instead of just tennis shoes, again, you are limiting when your ad will be shown. So that's how you really take advantage of phrase match. So the final option is exact match. With exact match, your ad will show on searches if you've used an exact term or a very close variation of that term with no added words before or after. So in the example that Google gives us, if your keyword exact match was lawn mowing service, if somebody does a search for lawn mowing service, your ad will be triggered. And they're going to apply the same reasoning as they did with phrase match with grass cutting service. Grass and lawn and cutting and mowing being so similar and no words before and no words after, that with grass cutting service, even if it's not exactly the same words, it is very close to all three of the words you've selected, so your ad would trigger. Here are some other situations with exact match when your ad would run. If we had running shoes as our exact match keyword, and somebody did a search query for shoes running, you can see that the words are reordered, your ad would be triggered. Even though it's not exact, Google allows the words to be reordered as long as it is the same words. Google also allows with exact match keywords if there are function words added or removed, like the, for, in, a, or function words changed, from, for, from, to. With exact match, your ad will still trigger with these slight variations. Exact match gives you the most control over who sees your ad, and it can result in a higher click rate than the other options. But you won't have as many impressions or clicks because you're limiting when your ad will appear. So why would somebody do a broad match instead of a phrase match or exact match? Well, if you weren't able to get enough clicks only using phrase match and exact match, then you would start to consider using broad match. So let's compare these two Google searches and the results they give you, just to illustrate what I mean. If I do a broad match search for tiny smiling dog, you can see that over 19 million results are shown. And you can see why here in the results, because the results don't need the phrase tiny smiling dog to trigger this result, just as long as it's similar and it has some combination of the words. So your very first result out of the over 19 million results only has smiling dogs. Second results, smiling dog, and then there's another sentence that has little in it. We haven't even exactly hit tiny smiling dog, but because Google says these are related and similar. But if I change this and I do a search instead for tiny smiling dog with quotation marks, so it's marked as a phrase match, now you can see we only have about 8 results. Think of the drastic change from over 19 million to 8. And these results you can see have exactly what we marked: tiny smiling dog, tiny smiling dog, tiny smiling dog. That's what we wanted. We just have far fewer options of either pictures or articles to look at. So that would be one of the reasons why you'd want to start taking advantage of broad match if you just weren't getting enough results with phrase match and exact match. And finally, if you were going to use, we talked about this a little bit earlier, if you were going to need to use broad match, then the only way it's really going to work is if you take advantage of a negative keyword list. And briefly, a negative keyword list is adding a word, and if that word is in the search result, your ad won't be displayed. So if you had carpet cleaning as a broad match term, and in your negative keyword list you had rental, then if somebody did a search for carpet cleaning rental equipment, rental machine, your ad wouldn't show. You've prevented it because you added that word rental. Or if you added in a word do it yourself, or jobs, or hiring. Now you're going and taking some of that control back from Google, and you're limiting when your ad will show. But I would always start with just trying to see if you get enough clicks for your budget just with phrase match and exact match. So once you've decided on the keyword match types you want to use, here is how you would enter them into your campaign. To enter a keyword as a broad match, you would just type it in and add it with no symbols. And then you would hit enter. To have it as a phrase match, you would just put quotation marks around it. And to have it as an exact match, you would just have brackets around it. Once you've entered in your keyword match types that you want to use, you would just save it to your campaign, and now they're in your keyword list. You can also see in your keyword list for each keyword how it is being used by this match type category. And if I wanted to change this to a phrase match, I could do so from here. And at any time I could pause a keyword. I don't always have to keep them live. So this is in my category list, my search keyword list, but I don't have to have it live. I can have some going, some stopped, and run my campaign like that. Additionally, if you want to add a negative keyword, and you definitely should be doing this for all your campaigns, even if you don't use broad match, you would just go to the negative keyword category. We would hit the add button here, and we would type in our negative keyword. You can add negative keywords to your campaign or to your ad group, or you can create a master list that you would use for all of your campaigns. And if you go to our YouTube channel, we have a video that's specifically talking about negative keywords. Negative keywords are very powerful to have in a campaign. They make your entire campaign much more cost effective and perform at a much higher level. So check out our other videos that we have just on negative keywords, and there's a lot to learn there. And let me just say, there are a lot of steps to creating a successful Google ad. This video is part of a series to help you create a cost-effective and high-performing ad campaign. While this video is on keyword match types, we also have videos that cover keyword research, keyword bidding, responsive ad creation, and much more. In part 3 of this series, you can watch over my shoulder as I create a Google ad from scratch with all the settings you need to control your cost and performance. All the videos in this series can be found on our YouTube channel, so please like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our digital marketing training videos. That's it for this video. See you next time.